All right, we are live, and hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. I did that so wrong. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Do it like Mr. Spock, Mr. Nemo. Now, this, as you might have figured out, is a live stream. However, I don't anticipate anyone to actually watch this live stream. Heck, if anyone shows up, then I'll consider myself blessed. That's fine. This isn't really being made for a public conversation one-on-one, although we see a few people here. Now, here's the thing. It is about 1:33 in the morning right now. This is not typically when you would do a live stream. This is not typically when you would upload a video. However, we have to talk about something fairly important. We have to talk about something fairly important because something just, well, it didn't just hit. It hit like 2 hours ago. We're talking like 10:44, almost 11. So, there you go. So, anyway, there's been, for those of you who are not aware what's going on, a little bit of a morning, everyone. There's been a stimulus package going on in Congress because, there's a lot of people who can't work. We're kind of stuck. We're supposed to stay indoors. We have to stop this little zombie like virus that's coming around called the C virus. We can't name the name actually, but Um, so Sniper emailed me that link. And basically, President Trump and a lot of congressmen, both Republicans and Democrats, agreed that there should be a stimulus bill, and they started to vote upon a stimulus bill. We were hoping to have it signed a little bit earlier. However, not to get too complicated, basically there were disagreements about what was in the bill and what was not in the bill. Now, I wasn't looking for perfection, and I suspect this bill won't be enough. I suspect it'll be a band-aid, but it'll be a step in the right direction. So, but here's the thing. The White House and the Senate leaders have reached an agreement. They reached it early. Now, when I was looking at a press conference earlier, the number for this bill had gotten up to $6 trillion. That has not happened. This is now a $2 trillion stimulus package. And, well, I personally think that's good. I think $6 trillion was way too much, especially since we're probably going to have to sign another one before this is all said and done. But I'm going to pick this up right now temporarily, and we are going to look at this article. And we're going to read it carefully because it's important. But here's the thing. The White House and the Senate leaders reached an agreement early Wednesday on a massive $2 trillion spending bill aimed at alleviating the economic impact of the outbreak. Quote, "At last we have a deal. After days of intense discussion, the Senate has reached a bipartisan agreement on a historic relief package for the pandemic," said Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky. In effect, this is a wartime level of investment for our nation. McConnell said he expected the Senate to pass the legislation later Wednesday after it returns at noon Eastern Time. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York, said, "We have a bipartisan agreement on the largest rescue package in American history. This is not a moment of celebration, but one of necessity." I agree, by the way. In an ideal world, this would not have been necessary. But boy, you just cannot prepare for these things. Although the full text of the bill is not yet known, and who knows, we might live stream later looking at the full text. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but this should be understandable. Lawmakers indicated Tuesday it would include, geez, thank you, DFW Food. I appreciate that a lot. But they've indicated that it would include the Republicans' initial proposal for direct cash payments to Americans. This was really important to Republicans, I'm going to say personally. Just watching it, I know the Republican Party really wanted that. So under the plan, people making up to $75,000 a year are expected to receive checks for $1,200. Couples making up to $150,000 a year would receive $2,400, with additional $500 per child, which, I guess Katie and I are getting that with just barely. The new agreement removed the phase-in provision that would have excluded lower income Americans from receiving the full benefit, which, hey, I'm glad that got taken out. I agree with that. Okay. Yep. Okay, good. We're back. We're back. Sorry about all of that, folks. Yeah, maybe maybe you did, but no, I think my app just died for some reason. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Anyway, let's continue with this. So I'm going to assume that this is around the area we were. So anyway, I agree that should have. I'm amazed that in a stimulus package, which is supposed to help people, there was even a provision there that would have excluded some lower income Americans. No, lower income Americans should not be excluded from this at all. Anyway, the payments would decrease for those making more than $75,000 with an income gap of $99,000 per individual or $190,000 for couples. So, yeah, if you're making up over this amount, which I'm going to assume not a lot of my viewers are, you don't get this. The bill is also expected to include roughly 100 billion in assistance for hospitals. To my knowledge, that's $25 billion more than what was originally proposed. 350 billion in assistance for small businesses. So there you go. And 500 billion in aid for corporations, including airline companies and crew lines that have been hurt by the outbreak, and about 150 billion for state and local stimulus funds. I know some people are going to not like that corporations are getting about 500 billion. Look, we're going to have to see who gets it and who doesn't, but here's the thing. I know it's not popular. Some corporations provide a lot of jobs, and some of them are really hurting. I don't think companies like Disney or Microsoft or Apple would get that money. At least I hope not. They definitely seem like they should have a little bit of money to weather this storm a little bit. But, maybe AMC Theaters, who doesn't have a single penny coming in right now, maybe they could get a little boost. I don't know. So, anyway, continuing, unemployment insurance would also be significantly bolstered to increase payments and extend the benefit to those who typically do not qualify. And here's the important thing, such as gig economy workers, furloughed employees, and freelancers. So there it is. Gig economy workers will be included for the unemployment insurance. So I don't know if that means you don't get a $1,200 check or not. We will have to look exactly at some point. The cruise liners are not based in the U.S. Why are we giving them anything? Because they are actually, a lot of the cruise liners are based in the U.S., but we're definitely giving them something because that's a lot of jobs that could just go away. I mean, I don't know how many people have been on a cruise, but like, there's Americans working on those cruises, and a lot, and like, the Disney Cruise Line. Hey, guess what? That's an American cruise, and Carnival, that's an American cruise line. Like, at least I'm pretty sure it is. So anyway, we can debate whether or not some people should get it or not, but the bottom line is they did come to an agreement. McConnell introduced the Republican proposal Thursday evening, giving lawmakers less than a week to negotiate a deal, draft legislative text, and schedule a vote. Negotiations, however, came to a head over how much additional unemployment insurance should be extended, as well as aid for distressed corporations. Schumer said the initial Republican plan would not dedicate enough money to hospitals, and he called for a Marshall Plan for healthcare system. Senators, along with representatives from the White House, huddled in the Capitol over the weekend and early this week to hammer out a deal. Legislation rarely moves this rapidly in Washington, I agree, especially a bill this size, but both parties appeared motivated to act quickly as unemployment numbers continue to rise and more businesses are forced to close their doors. Yeah, also because of the voters. Because here's the thing, when I would be very curious to know if the Democrats' new proposal for this came through because, look, I'm not an apologist for the Republicans and anti-Democrat. I vote for both personally. But, a lot of the Republican senators, stayed home from their vacation and worked on this thing while Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer went out took their break. And then they came home and they killed it. And that's why Pelosi and Schumer were trending on Twitter. And I don't know if you guys know this. You don't want to be trending on Twitter. It's never a good thing when you're trending on Twitter. So the voters were pissed. I mean, I was so pissed that I actually made a video, which will probably not be seen now, except to my YouTube members and Patreon supporters, where I, made fun of how big the Democrat proposal bill was. It's probably no reason to share it now, but Anyway, this goes through all what's going on, and of course, if it passes, the spending package would be the third round of emergency legislation that Congress has approved to combat the outbreak. Lawmakers, yeah. Anyway, so President Trump signed the first two bills into law and is expected to sign the third bill too. So here's the bottom line. Here's what's important to you guys. I don't know if gig workers are going to get a check or not. We just don't know that one yet because, except in California and New York, this work is not considered employee work. And even in California and New York, I have to say, considering the laws that are passed, they have done a really sucky job at at enforcing that. I don't know if 5 billion is going to Amazon or not. That would suck if it did, but if it if money goes to Amazon, here's why, folks, because Amazon technically loses money all the time. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be things about this bill we do not like and we do not agree with, but we weren't looking for perfection on this one. And look, I agree with some of the compromises that were made. They did close a provision that would have excluded lower income Americans. I think that's a good thing to get in there so that no lower income American was excluded from this. What's more, gig workers have been included in the unemployment insurance. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to work because it's really hard to file for unemployment with Uber and Lyft, even in California, and actually get that money because if you don't, you're not really getting fired, you're just not working right now. I mean, the app still runs, so it's going to be a hard case to make, and this is probably not perfect. I'm going to be very curious to see if any gig workers actually get some of this money. That might be the next thing. So, and by the way, nice to see you, Godon. I haven't seen you in a while. So, that's what's going on right now. The stimulus package is expected to be signed. It's probably not perfect. We might even do a live stream later today about what exactly is in it. I definitely want to look over the parts that affect gig workers because that's what most of my audience is here for. I've got some. I'm actually picking up a little bit of a following from people who like trading stocks on Robinhood and Webull. That's kind of nice. But most of my viewership are still gig economy. I still care about it. So there you have it. So hey, for the time being, we're going to be getting some money. That's a positive. How much we're getting, that's up for debate. And, well, yeah, this is probably not going to be the only round. They're probably going to have to do another one. So anyway, um, let's see here. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? You can't get anything unless you file for unemployment. That's one of the questions. The only thing that's stated right here about the gig workers is that it includes them on unemployment insurance. But then again, you have a question mark attached to that because how many gig economy workers are actually unemployed? Because you don't, I mean, deactivations are way down. Like, knowing that Uber and Lyft would probably be hesitant to deactivate anyone. Maybe it means if you've been deactivated in the last month, then you're part of this. But if you decide, hey, it's just not safe out there, and I feel like I need to self quarantine, you unfortunately might get penalized for that, which means people are going to go on the road and drive, which doesn't help the situation. But from like how often we get a check, I'm thinking, again, I don't know, I haven't read this exactly, but we won't know the full bill till tomorrow. But here's the thing: they do state very clearly that if you make up to 75,000 or if you make $150,000, you will get a check for either $1,200 or $2,400. To me, that suggests you'll get one check. I suspect you'll get one check until they pass another stimulus. Oh my gosh, there's 36 people awake right now. I mean, guys, it's 2 a.m. Well, I guess it's 5 or close to 5 for some of you. So, hey, thank you for giving me some time. Thank you for giving me some attention. Hey, if you want to give a thumbs up, that would be great. And yeah, and thank you DFW for the $10 super chat, because boy, the monetization's really. Oh my gosh, thank you, Donnie. Yeah, come on, man. Just one check. Actually, yeah, in all seriousness, will people on welfare get the stimulus check? I don't know about that. My personal opinion, if I was writing this, I would say no. I would personally think that if you were already on unemployment or already on welfare when this hit, I don't. I probably wouldn't give it out personally. You're already in the system, if you will. But who knows? Like, maybe they will, because the whole idea, again, of a stimulus package is to stimulate the economy. And by the way, the government will be getting some of this back, because when you buy something, hey, thank you, Jim Rat Magoo 54. That's an interesting name. Thank you so much. So that's my the whole point of giving out this money is that they want to get it back. They want you to put money into the economy, which means they're going to be taxed on whatever you put into the economy. So the government is hoping to get some of that back and bring up the stock market a little bit, things like that. So that's so yeah. Even though I personally, if I were writing the checks, I wouldn't give it to anyone on welfare or unemployment who was on it before this hit. I could see a situation on why they would, because again, it's supposed to stimulate the economy. Now, what is clear is that if you make more than $100,000 a year as a single person, or more than $198,000 as a couple, you're not getting anything, because with that kind of money, you can probably weather the storm a little bit. People who don't, have that money, so anyway. So, you know what? I wasn't going to do a long live stream, but shoot, there's 38 people on. Let's answer some questions. Why the heck not? I'm kind of jazzed. I can't sleep. So let me go to the top, and let's see some of these. I see good mornings. So hey Mark, hey Sniper, hey Boosted, hey Jim Rat Magoo 54. Thank you again for the super chat, all of you guys. And Rick's here. Interesting faces that I have not seen in a long time show up for the 2 a.m. live stream. It's funny. And yeah, a bunch of stream dies, and Dual Beacon is on. Yeah, I don't know why it was buffering. So let's see. Like, all right, let's see here. You know what happens when I come in the house? All right, let me. So I'm going to guess that Nelson, just from the few comments I've read already, is not in favor of this stimulus package. He's already complaining about certain, so, already complaining about some of the companies getting it. That's fine. We can disagree on this. And yeah, if Amazon does get $5 billion, that will be ridiculous. Godani says all people working and making money and making a check or not qualify for unemployment. Turn your apps off. Go on unemployment. You'll get paid more money. See, that's the question that I have though, because when you go to file for unemployment, they're going to ask, why were you fired? And you're not fired when you turn off the app. You're just simply choosing not to work. So I don't know. So Low Roller Scratcher says every American will get $1,200, even people don't work in the last couple of years. We don't know that for sure. I mean, it probably will happen, but we don't know that for sure. So let's see here. Nelson says, I have seen nothing for 1099 works except that we are not getting any help. Cheryl says you can't get anything unless you file for unemployment. Not entirely true. Again, I believe most people will get the $1,200 checks. I think that's just a given. Everyone's getting a $1,200 check. As for the unemployment benefits, that you do have to actually file for. It's like Nelson Minred says, I filed my application, and they tell me I'm not eligible. Well, did you file as an Uber driver? because, yeah, I actually would be curious to know that. Um, so, oh, you were sleeping, but you woke up, sure, I see. So, Nelson says there's a zombie apocalypse going on. Who can sleep? Yeah, I can't. I just finished an anime, and I might actually make a YouTube video about it. It was very interesting. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, Mark. Um, and Godani says me and Nick kill a zombie as his birthday video. Happy birthday, Nick. Cheryl says, I guess I'm out because I got a small pension in Social Security. That's another thing that is not exactly addressed here. If you have a pension in Social Security, are you getting anything? And I'm assuming no. Now let me explain why I think if you are on welfare, pension, Social Security, if you are on all this stuff, why you might not be getting anything. Because I think, and this sounds so mean, but this might be what they're thinking. Under those circumstances, your situation didn't drastically get worse or better, except for you have to stay at home. Like my parents, they probably won't get anything because my parents are retired. They left their pension and their Social Security, and they didn't lose any work. To my knowledge, they did not lose any work. So it's except for them having to stay inside and finally sit down and watch The Irishman. I don't know if you could make a solid argument that their situation got a lot worse. So that's the only reason I'm wondering if they will get anything at all. Now, again, stimulus package, whole point is suspending the economy. They will probably send everyone a check, and then my parents can definitely. I don't know what they can buy. Most of the businesses are closed, but maybe they'll get Disneyland passes for when they reopen again. So, Mark says, Kevin, everyone's getting a check, no discrimination. Again, we don't know that for sure. It's likely, but we don't know for sure. Laura Scratcher said, I heard they might do digital dollar. Yeah, that's a crazy theory. No, they're going to send a check, trust me. Ben Rose said, what about people on Social Security, disability, retirees? Yeah, we were just talking about that. I don't know. Hey, Golden Gate Coffee, how you doing? Go Donnie says you'll have to be a full-time employee with at least 40 hours a week to get the unemployment. I've already spoken with the lawyer. Okay, so I mean, everyone might want to consult with their own lawyer. However, if what he said is true, then you need to be working at least 40 hours before you will get anything. All right. So hey, Tommy, how you doing? Rick Review says I think salary people get the extra money too. They get to double dip, not if they're making a certain amount. Again, this is made particularly for poor people or middle class. So if that salaried person is making more than $75,000 by themselves, or as a married couple filing jointly, they're making more than $198,000, they don't get anything. And salaried people can make a lot of money. So Mark says you should be sleeping. I should, but I'm not. So Godai says unemployment only covers full-time drivers, part-time drivers, good luck. And that could also skewer things a little bit because here's the thing, unemployment is getting crushed. It's getting absolutely crushed right now with how many people are filing. And I would not be surprised if they were looking to cut corners. And they might pull a stunt. I'm not saying they will, but just keep this in mind when you go in. They might pull a stunt where they look at how much you're driving and they might be saying, well, you're not working 40 hours a week, so you're not working full time. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, but yeah, it's easy to prove. Nelson says wrong. I don't know what you're wrong about, what you said wrong about, but did Robinhood balance go up today? Well, watch my Robinhood video and check it out. So, you'll get a check. Donnie says you'll get a check or unemployment, whichever is greater. Again, I don't know. DFW Food says, I believe back in '08, everyone got a stimulus check, even those on welfare. It was money intended to help increase consumer spending. That means you should try to use it locally where it helps. And yeah, I agree that it's a strong possibility. I remember when I got a stimulus check, it was like $300 something. It certainly wasn't this, but that was more scaled. So anyway. Rick says, I watch some puppy videos if I can't sleep. I watch anime if I can't sleep. I have so much anime. there's some days where it's like, man, I mean, I love my life and I love my wife and I love what I do, but there's a part of me sometimes it's like, boy, I remember the old days when I was like a teenager and I could just binge watch like 20, 30 episodes of an anime in a day. I remember watching the entirety of Hikaru no Go in 3 days, maybe four, and that's like a 75 episode TV series plus an 80-minute movie. And now it's like, and now I actually have to like put on my to do list like, okay, watch 2 anime episodes a day, and I just finished one on Amazon called After the Rain, which is interesting. Anyway, we're not here to talk about anime. So let's see here. Godai says you're gonna blanket the whole United States with $100 bills. Come on, man. Roger says $1,200 plus 500 for dependent. Yeah, yeah. So if you have children, you'll get a few hundred more. Arthur says you don't say fired for unemployment. You say state mandated stay home. Yeah, there's an idea. Okay, yeah. So folks, if you have to file for this, follow Arthur's advice. Call it state mandated stay home because that's pretty much what it is. Godani says, don't forget to call and get your food stamps. EBT eating better tonight. Come on, man. You know, we're not eating badly. We've got food. In fact, I've kind of taken this as an opportunity, like just ration food and eat less. So I've lost I've lost 3 pounds this week. So I could still stand to lose 20 more at least, but something, as they say. It, is your cat and dog? No, your cat and dog will not qualify as kids. Don't even attempt to pull that. You might get the whole thing denied just by trying to pull that stunt. So Cheryl says, I don't think there should be any means testing except for an income tax cap. Yeah, possibly. So DFW says $300 check in '08 was a small fortune. Well, it was a lot of money to someone who was Oh wait, I was unemployed at the time, so yeah, maybe maybe they will give it to people who are on unemployment. Cheryl says I get way less than 75,000 driving money, pension, and Social Security combined. So yeah, you see, right now we don't know about that. We don't know about it. Like I said, they might. It's a stimulus package. I've said that a lot, but it has to be stressed. It's a stimulus package. The whole point is to stimulate the economy. However, I would not be surprised if, in a way, because this is a lot of money still, if someone said, well, people who are drawing on this, this, and this, they don't get anything because their situation isn't any worse and they're probably going to buy the same amount that they know. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So, let's see here. Ben says, will YouTubers get the government stimulus check? Well, I don't know about all YouTubers, but I think some of them will, especially since a lot of YouTubers have real jobs. So, it shows that they're actually working. I mean, I don't know about that one, but I think a lot of them will. Good thing I'm Uber to Uber YouTuber now. Wow, I'll be getting a check this year. Well, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, like I do have some W-2s. I mean, I do some work, and granted it's consulting work, but it is technically a W-2, so I will probably get this check. YouTube it's kind of funny because even though it's like a huge chunk of my income every year, it's kind of funny how it's not considered my main income, even though it for a long time was bringing in more money than my other jobs. It's not anymore, but it was at one point. It's just funny how it all works out. So, did you drive in movies this week? No, we're doing that. I want to say tomorrow, but no, it's later today. It's later today. We're going to do The Invisible Man at the drive-in movies. So, I won't say which theater because I don't want anyone going out to try to see us. The whole point of going to the drive-in theater right now is because we want to get out of the house, see a movie, and the drive-in theaters are the only things that are open right now. So, but anyway. Well, the drive-in movies are going to make a big comeback for the time being. I don't know if it's going to be a forever thing, but it is funny how you think that something is totally antiquated and you don't need it anymore, and then before you know it, You do need it. And it's kind of like people right now who thought that streaming was the future. They had no use for physical media anymore. And now Netflix is like capping, all the companies are capping their quality by 25%. And you can't stream 4K anymore. And like, well, what's the point of buying the nice TV then? And I'm kind of thinking like, Mwahaha, I have been preparing for this my entire life. People said I was crazy when the internet was going to let us down one day, but I knew, and I have all these discs. I love it. I absolutely love it. So anyway, folks, yeah, they're still driving theaters. Look it up. It might maybe not in your area, but like there's one in Chino and one in San Diego and one in LA. So in San Jose, yeah. There's one in Sacramento, I believe. So yeah, they are still around. They are definitely still around. You can't print and fix everything. No, I agree. I agree. I mean, I know that when this was like being discussed and everything, people said, "Well, great, socialism is here," and it's like, no, it's not socialism. This is like a one-time thing. Like this is what the government was actually made for. The government wasn't made to was made to govern and step in when things got really bad. It wasn't meant to do your manage your everyday life. Like this is exactly what the government's supposed to be doing. But I understand like it's a scary time. We're all a little unsure about what's going to happen. But look, some positive. Like the Wuhan is finally getting unlocking the city, and movie theaters are starting to open again over there, as well as some businesses. So look, there's a light at the end of this tunnel. We will get through this. This is not going to be a for years upon years thing. We will get out of this, and it'll probably be sooner than we realize. So, just continue to enjoy your Netflix. Enjoy staying indoors. Finish those video games that you never got around to finishing. Read those books that never got read. Listen to those albums that you've been meaning to listen to for years. Like, play with the pets. You know, um, make the wives and husbands happy. Just look. I don't see this as a 100% bad thing. In fact, I've kind of told some people that despite the horribleness of the economy crashing, there is a certain relief of everything just being paused. And it's like, okay, I can start writing my book again. I can start catching up on things I never caught up on instead of like having all this new media and content and events. This has actually been fairly relaxing, all things considered. And look, I'm getting to do more stuff with you guys. I'm getting YouTube's fun again. It's fun again because some of these things that I had to do, I can't do them right now. So I have time to love this again. So this is not entirely a bad thing. It's not good, and hopefully it ends sooner rather than later. But for however long it lasts, I'm gonna just consider it a blessing and like just take look at it and just go like, I'm gonna be thankful for what this is rather than what it isn't. So anyway, anyway, folks, Cheryl, um, let's see here. Brick Review says next couple of weeks be super careful, but yeah, light at the end of the tunnel. And Cheryl says we used to go to drive-in movies when my son was a baby. We could take him, no babysitter. In fact, oh, thank you, David. I so appreciate it. I wish I had water to drink to all these super chats. I didn't realize. Like, thank you so much. But well, here, Pikachu says thank you. This is my wife's Pikachu, by the way. I took her to see Pokemon I Choose You. Totally off topic, but why not? It's a fun story. We're trying to be light on this, right? So early on in our relationship when we're dating, they're going to be doing like a new Pokemon movie, Pokemon I Choose You, in theaters for 2 days. They're going to give out a trading card just like the old days. And I've never stopped liking Pokemon. I play the games. I don't watch the TV show religiously anymore but I do have a fondness for it, and so I wanted to see the movie. And I asked Katie, who's a new girlfriend at the time. Keep in mind, she's not my wife, not a fiance. Haven't been in a serious relationship for a long time, so I want to go see the new Pokemon movie. And you don't have to come with me, just to let you know. But we're in that point in the relationship where it's new, where she wants to do everything with me. She still wants to do everything with me for the most part. And she asked if she would like it. And I had to be honest, I wasn't sure. I said, I don't know, because some people who have not watched it, who did not grow up with it, simply don't understand it. That's a fact. On the other hand, this movie is a reboot. It's starting from day one. They're starting over, so I don't think you'll be lost. Ultimately, she decides to go with me, and she loved it, and she loved Pikachu. And now I've got so much Pikachu crap in this house because I did not know what I was doing. I'm actually understanding a little bit why my parents hated this little rat so much. You reap what you sow, right? Anyway, that's a funny little. Hopefully, it's a funny story. So anyway, Cheryl says last time we went to Orange County, interview with a vampire. The fog rolled in. We missed the end. There you go. So anyway, all right. So I see people are starting to leave now. That means it's probably getting a little late. But hey, if you haven't left yet and you haven't given a thumbs up, please consider doing so. It would greatly help me out. Thank you for taking 40 minutes. I expected to do this in 10, but except for like the technical difficulties, I think this was a pretty successful little live stream. So anyway, your stream is incorrect. It should say House and Senate has agreed. Okay, well, I'll fix that. I will fix that. Like I said, I was reading the headline here and trying not to completely copy it. So, we'll fix that. Certainly, there's time before people start waking up and really watching this thing. So anyway, for all of those who happen to be watching this after the live stream fact, what do you think about all of this? I know this is going to be testy for some people. They will not necessarily agree with this package passing. They will not agree with everything that's in it. We don't exactly know everything that's in it. We will probably come back later to talk about what exactly is in it. And we'll be dissecting it with all of their YouTube out there. But in the meantime, what are your preliminary thoughts on the matter? I would love to know. So, you know the drill. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and thank you for everyone who stayed up with me and watched this, gave me the thumbs up, the super chats, greatly appreciated, and flame responsibly. Have a good one.